should be
Yeah,
some.
and
Recreation Commission. Roll call.
Freitag. Kleppel.
Here.
Creedy. Steffens. Stuckenschneider.
Here.
Valmert.
Here.
Miller Wood. Waymeyer.
Here.
Werner.
Here.
Woolley.
Here.
Packey. Pepsel.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's see, here's the home fall. Approval of the minutes for the January 14th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Gavin, second by Betty. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. Director's report, Lori?
Sure. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is our daddy-daughter dance was held on Friday, January 30th. We had 135 people there, 73 little girls and 62 of their dads. If you didn't see the article in the Missourian, we got the front page spread. So
Good.
I have that if you want to take a look. But our team did an excellent job on putting on that event, and thanks to Betty for also stepping in to help with that event. So it was a great event.
The ladies did an absolutely wonderful job. It was beautiful. Thanks, Casey. Thank you.
Also, we wanted to let you know about a couple of other things that one of them we recently took to council was the purchase of a new set of bleachers for the motorsports arena. Currently out there are 4 sets of 36-foot bleachers. We would like to start replacing one of those every year. We do have one budgeted for this year, and then in sequential years, we'll purchase another one in each year. We are going to be replacing them with 5 27-foot bleachers. The new bleachers will all be ADA accessible. They will all be up to standard. The ones that we have out there right now, we actually couldn't find when they were purchased, but we think they were purchased in the late 70s or early 80s. So they're wearing out. We're having some issues where we're having to replace parts and fix some things out there. So it's time for us to start doing that. So we wanted to let you know that we were doing that. We are purchasing those through Sourcewell, which is a cooperative purchasing program. And they usually provide us the best pricing for equipment and things like that.
Lori, in the past, has the Fair Board helped us out in this area? The chamber?
They have not helped us out with the bleachers, but they have helped us out with other projects out in the fairgrounds. Did Casey, did you attach that to the?
Yeah,
Okay, oh, sure.
This question was asked at the last council meeting when those were brought before the council for purchase or whatever. We shared a report that I had received from Jennifer Giesek at the chamber or whatever. I'd be happy to share that with you as a park board. I don't know all the stuff off the top of my head, but several items were listed on there of improvements that they've done over the last 5 years to the grounds. And just one of them, I mean, that I can remember that was on that report was they picked up the tab for the lights, for example, that are down there at the motorsports. Those lights needed to go ahead and be replaced, and I think they had a value of something like $85,000 or whatever, but they picked that up because the capital improvement sales tax was going to pick that up at one point, but due to the price of the main stage roof or whatever and the cost of it, they decided to transfer those funds. They had asked the council to transfer those funds and go ahead and use that for the roof instead, but in turn, they picked that up. Okay. That's just one example. I will be happy to go ahead and share that report with you.
Makes sense. Thanks, Darren.
When I got it, it was pretty eye-opening, all the things that had been done that you didn't realize kind of behind the scenes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we'll send that out with the minutes, so you have it.
If I could ask, what's the materials and finish of the new bleachers? Are they aluminum or steel or?
The bleacher boards will be aluminum and the understructure will be steel.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. We also wanted to let you know that we are currently hiring in our department. We're hiring a part-time office assistant. I don't know if we talked about it last time, but Melanie, who's our part-time office assistant, she left us for a new opportunity, and so we're hiring for her position right now. We are also hiring a maintenance worker one for the Parks Department, and we are looking for a summer intern. So those have all been posted. We're also hiring other part-time positions like concessions at the pool and camp staff as well. So, and then we wanted to bring you up to speed. The Legion contacted us about an addition to the concession stand out at Ronzik. And so they are going to be paying for that project. We do have some plans from them, and Chad and I have been working with them on those plans, and hope that will be a really nice addition to Ronzik.
Very good.
And then lastly, we wanted to let you know that we today opened up an invitation for bids for the Highway 100 medians maintenance services, and then one for mowing also.
Anything else?
That's
Question?
it.
Anybody? Communication from the audience. Anybody want to say something here?
We had a question about the lot that's going in by the Missouri Avenue.
Can you go up to them?
Name,
Cheyenne Gunn.
okay.
I had a question about the Missouri lot that you guys are talking about putting in and doing something with. Is that still in motion?
So we'll address that farther in the
Perfect, thank you.
agenda.
It's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? No? Old business, trail connection?
So because we've been dealing with some weather, some cold temperatures and snow, that project had not been started up to this point. But today our park staff were out in the park. We were actually removing some of the sidewalks, and KJU, who's our contractor, will be out there either Friday or Monday to get that started. So we're excited that our temps are a little bit better than they had been, and excited to get that project started.
And the old bathhouse?
So I think Dave was out there today. The brickwork started out there today. We have our first shipment of windows that are going to be delivered on the 16th. The front door will be delivered on the 17th, and then the second shipment of windows will come on the 23rd. So we're excited that that project is also starting. Well, it had been starting. We had already been doing some work out there, but that we're getting windows and doors in.
Looks good.
And then tennis courts out Phoenix Park?
And then we just wanted to update you that we are going to be doing some crack filling out at the Phoenix tennis courts. It doesn't look like we can get them in until July, but we will certainly make sure that we work around anybody that's out there. But we're excited to do that as well.
Okay, thank you. On to new business, the Krog Park Playground.
So in your packet, you should have received a sketch of the playground that we are going to be installing in Krog Park. The playground out there was built in 2007. We have seen that the overall structure is deteriorating and that the paint is kind of wearing on that. It's time for us to replace that playground. We had that project budgeted in the 2027 half-cent sales tax budget. We decided to move that up to 2026. We are really excited that that is going to get started in March. And we hope to have that done sometime in April, late April. But we'll have a nice new playground out there. You guys have that footprint so you can see what that looks like. We will be purchasing it through New Toys Leisure Products, who is also one of our cooperative purchasing vendors. And we have worked with them in the past. So we do have a budget of $99,500 for that. The playground cost is $90,621. We will be doing some additional work out there in terms of surfacing and site construction that will work with the rest of that $99,500. But again, that ship date is March 16th, installation by the end of April, and it will be funded by the current half-cent sales tax. And did I forget anything with that?
Is this the actual color in the sketch?
Yes.
And then is any part of the old equipment salvageable in any way?
For insurance purposes, we can recycle it to ourselves, but we can't recycle it to resell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we will keep some components. We have one more structure that is made by Miracle, so we'll keep anything that we could maybe reuse if something gets damaged on that set.
Yeah, like fittings, brackets, or seats.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if anything we can reuse, we can, to keep that one piece together till it's
Okay.
time for redoing.
And we will be doing the demolition on that, and then the company will come in and do the installation.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the tennis court restrooms,
So the Fair Board has requested that we tear down the fairground tennis court restrooms at the fairgrounds. They're in pretty bad shape. Currently, the old tennis courts are being taken down out there as well. The fair and any other events that will be coming out to that area will be bringing in porta potties when those events happen. Trying to think if there was anything else. Right now, the only people that utilize, or the only events that utilize those restrooms are the fair and the 4th of July event, and then any other really big events that we have. Again, they will be bringing porta potties out for those rentals.
okay. And then capital improvement report, fairgrounds.
So that's what we talked a little bit about earlier. So we wanted to make you aware that we did get a report from the chamber on the capital improvements that they've done out at the fairgrounds, and we will pass that on to you as well.
All right. And then the River Bridge lot.
Do you want to talk about that?
So at the Transportation Committee,
So the traffic committee was requested to go ahead and take a look at that parking lot or that area again and talk about what could be done. I think there's been some cars that park there even though there's signage up that says no parking or whatever. There is nothing within the budget that the city has at this time or whatever. Obviously, we all know it was mentioned in your master plan or whatever of some ideas of what could be done up there. So at this time, I think what the traffic committee recommended was just to go ahead and put in, I'll tell you how the request came up, because there was neighboring properties that were requesting due to cars parking in their commercial lots or their business lots, and that using the bridge to go ahead and walk over or walk across the bridge. So they were wanting to know, was the city going to do anything about, allowing people to go ahead and park there? Could they go ahead and put some parking? So what we are looking at, what we talked about doing was, the engineering department usually has a paving program set up every year of stuff that they do, whether it may be streets, whether it be maybe some other additional parking lots. And we're looking at the possibility of seeing if we can put in a 4-spot parking lot just for a few cars there to go ahead and be located. That is all the improvements that are being discussed so far. It was just to see if we could do that possibly this summer, and if not, then we can incorporate it into the budget for starting October the 1st. But any other improvements we haven't had a chance to go ahead and even discuss that. I think probably based upon users up there, we'd want to approach that slowly and just see if the parking lot would take care of at least the immediate problem that some of the property owners up there adjacent to it have experienced. So,
I think the safety aspect was part of it too. The people parking across on the
sure.
other side
Thank
of
you.
the street you're crossing Highway 47 to get to the bridge.
Right.
To the walking path, which I think was a concern.
that was one of the residents was on the other side of 47, and they'd experienced people parking in theirs, and then, like Tim said, trying to cross 47, and we really don't have a safe spot, I guess, if you will, to go ahead and cross 47. So this would at least be on that side, and go ahead and consider doing that.
4 spots?
Yes, is what we were looking at. I mean, that was discussed. I'm going to talk with engineering about that, but the traffic committee was going to look at it again next month at their meeting.
Okay. Is there any timeline on when that would be done?
It would probably be done if we're able to go ahead and add it to this year's budget, which I haven't talked with engineering to see whether or not they, what their budget is for this year. I will take a look at it. Then they would be able to possibly do it. Earliest, I would say, would probably sometime this summer.
Okay. Very good.
So if you back, I assume the 4 spots are going on Missouri Avenue?
They'll be going on to the lot itself.
Oh, okay. Where does, I'm sorry, pardon my
okay.
ignorance, where does Missouri, if they go Missouri Avenue to leave, is there access to something for them to leave on Missouri Avenue? Or
Well,
do
they could
have-
either go from Missouri and go west, and then go
Yeah.
ahead and go through town, or,
Okay.
fine. They
Okay.
could either take that route, or they can go right back out onto 47.
Right,
It would be difficult probably to make, well, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know, it may be difficult for them to make lefts. You might be stuck there for a while if you're trying to make that to go on
Oh.
northbound 47, but I
Oh.
think you could definitely go ahead and go southbound on 47 and get out that way as well.
And Missouri Avenue is a street, right?
It is a
'Cause
city
the
street.
report says an alley.
It
It's-
goes right behind the parking lot, that new parking lot across from,
It's maintained as a street, but it is, and I mean, as far as width purposes, it's a lot less than what our normal city streets are.
Okay. Would we need to upgrade it if we're gonna put more traffic on it, or?
If we would have to take a look at that and see if that would go ahead and be necessary. I mean, it's been existing like that for years without, I mean, as it is. I will state, yes, it is narrower than any other city street that we have.
Okay.
Any questions?
Darren, would any of them have to be handicap spots out of them 4?
We would probably want to go ahead and consider making one at least.
One.
That-
Okay.
And like Darren said, we just wanted to bring it up to you all because we got invited to the meeting to talk about it, but there are no plans at this point. So just something in discussion.
Didn't we talk before about some kind of a welcome sign or something in there?
Yeah, there were some ideas, and I'm glad that they supplied you with the sheet that was out of, that was in the thing. They were looking at the possibility of either that, and/or doing some type of, I think you said, canopy or an
Yeah, like
awning
a
there.
small pavilion shelter.
Yeah, just a single.
Or some picnic benches, or regular benches or something. There wasn't a lot of detail in the master plan, it was just some ideas thrown out there that that's what it could be used for. I think the digital sign, they didn't think it was a very good viewing area with everything that's there, so they talked about trying to move it down the street a little bit, but I don't think that's probably gonna happen either, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
There are a lot of easements on that property as well that MoDOT kept as a result of the bridge, as you can imagine. And so you do have those kind of limitations. You can put a parking lot over it, but I mean,
Yeah.
but you do have those limitations.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Yes. Right on up.
First of all, Missouri Avenue is 13 feet 9 inches wide. It's an alley. You cannot get 2 cars through there. Yeah. I was told by one of the employees who drives the truck, because I own the house next door, 814 Missouri, my husband and I do.
So the house that's next to the lot in the graphic?
Yes, and I asked the gentleman yesterday, because I had heard word that there was going to be a parking lot put here. When we purchased the property 2 years ago, I was told by the city of Washington parking is not allowed there, and they have signs there. And people still park anyway. But now they're going to turn around and put, I was told by this employee, 4 to 6 parking spots, a picnic area with a pavilion, and possibly even a swing set. It's a very small piece of land. The red outline here, if you go to the Recorder of Deeds, about 60 to 70% of that belongs to MoDOT. It does not belong to Missouri, the city of Washington. So that I don't understand. Does MoDOT just deed the property over to the city of Washington to use that entire parcel to put a little park in?
Can't answer that.
No, the city, they did, the city acquired that property from MoDOT, but there are some, like I said earlier, it is subject to
It
easements.
had to have been in the last 2 years.
What's that?
It had to have been in the last 2 years.
We've had it, I'd have to go back and look. It was, the bridge was completed in 2018. I want to say it was transferred over to us, don't hold me to this, but just a year or two after that.
And you also made mention that Missouri Avenue is our road. It is an alley, but there are residents all the way down. And the situation has changed drastically since the new bridge was put in. And if you're going to start adding possibly 6 parking spots, people coming here to picnic and party, you are going to have a big problem if you don't widen that road. It's
And-
13 feet, 9 inches wide.
Ma'am, when you say the situation has changed since the bridge, you're saying there's more traffic on?
There's a
Okay,
lot more traffic, yes,
okay.
absolutely.
But
Anybody? Okay. Well, you've got it written here that this is intended to greet travelers entering off of the bridge. Are you wanting to put a visitor center there? Because if you are, I mean, that's a totally different ballgame. But there's only so much you can jam into this little bitty spot. And there's another thing to think about. We
Ma'am, could you get closer to the mic?
just recently
Thank you.
remedied the situation with the individuals that decided to reside under the bridge. I've had people, since I've owned the property, come to my door on a regular basis with chainsaws in their hands, all kinds of problems. If you put in a pavilion and a picnic area, you're gonna bring a lot of people back. They're gonna wanna hang out there. And who's gonna be bothered with it? The residents on Missouri Avenue will. And I understand, Farm Bureau lady or the lady across the road, there are people parking in her parking lot. And that's not right either. But it's not gonna, it's, 2 wrongs aren't gonna make a right. Putting a parking lot here is a really bad idea. And it's going to be a detriment to me and my husband, our property right next door. I don't think anybody here would want that parking lot right next to their house, would they? Am I missing anything? Okay, that's really all I have to say. This is really kind of vague. What the employee told me, I don't know if it's true, but it's scaring the bejeebers out of me. I don't want to park right next to Highway 47 where little children could get run over. Yeah. That's all I have.
Thank you.
any other comments? No? With that, we do have.
Hi, I'm Melinda Connor, and I live 2 houses down from them at 804 Missouri Avenue. And, I mean, I walk a lot, so when I go past Krog Park, I see, homeless people sleeping on the benches and stuff. I myself, if you can call the police department, have made numerous calls. One morning, I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning, the dining room door was open this far. And I went running in there and told my husband to come in and check to see what was going on, because they're always around the house. We don't have cameras, we're gonna get cameras, but they have cameras, so I'm always asking them, has somebody been around? Yes, there's been numerous, the guy with the big beard, they sent me pictures, and then there's been people stealing stuff, taking firewood. If they would just come during the day and ask me, I'd be like, sure, take some pieces. And then it's like, I have bells literally. If you go to my house right now, you'll see bells on every door, because after waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then, what else was, and then 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to call the police. I got up in the kitchen and I looked out the window, and two guys were like staggering back and forth. And I just think if we bring all that there, it's gonna make it 10 times worse. Because I can't sleep now the way it is. But I just think it's a bad idea. And then, MoDOT put a note on, last year, I had a barbecue for my mom, and one of my sister-in-laws was in the front of the house, and there was somebody there that I had no clue it was. Then all of a sudden, 6 police cars come showing up at my house and looking for that guy, and I just think it's gonna bring more, like when I walk past Krog Park, I see them sleeping on the benches and stuff, and there's good people, but if they're stealing from me and, messing around my house at night, then, the police department, I think they've probably got about 8 calls from me, and I do not like calling them unless, like I'm at, something's going on. And then, of course, you know, the kids running out, you know, kids don't listen to their parents. I have 3 granddaughters, and we will walk from my house to the bridge, and the youngest one wants to dart right out to the highway, and I'm like, Evelyn, you have to listen to me. So, and she was 6, so what if a little one that's younger than that run out? Then how is everyone gonna feel if somebody gets killed? And, you know, it's like I should be able to sleep at night and not have to worry about somebody messing with my house and having bells on my doors. But I just think you need to think about the safety and what it's gonna draw. So, and I thought it was dropped, and then I found out from the older guy that parks there in the old car, told me that it's still an ongoing thing, so, or else I would have been at every meeting. But he told me, so I wanted to make sure that you just you know, that's not a good idea. And then Krog Park's just 2 blocks down, you know, I understand like the parking spots, you know, and not have to do that, but as far as like a park, it's just 2 blocks down, it's not that much further to walk, because I walk it all the time, but. So I just wanted to say, I just think it's not a good idea, but. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name's Bert Williams. That was my wife that talked originally. So this is our house, and I just want to bring something else to your attention. Being that this is an alley, and she told you the width, which was 13.9 or something like that, I just want to bring your attention, when I leave my house and I want to go to Highway 47 and turn right or left, there's barely enough room with those curbs for one car. And if somebody tries to make a right there, or coming off the bridge, you have to back up. There's not, that area is very narrow. So if something were to be done here, I would think that this road would have to be widened at least down to our property line to allow for 2 vehicles to safely go in and out. I'm always concerned that somebody's gonna try to make a right turn off the bridge while somebody's sitting there at the stop sign waiting, and they can't, and this person's gotta back up and maybe he can't, and what happens? You know, you got this deadlock on the bridge thing. So anyway, I think that's really a safety hazard. Whether or not this ever happens, I think this street right there, that alleyway, should be widened just in case 2 cars would like to leave, 1 car leaving, 1 car coming in. Just want to bring that to your attention.
I have a question. Have you been to a council meeting or a street meet?
Well, let me just clarify. Yeah, the traffic committee, this was brought to the traffic committee at their last meeting last Friday. I would encourage you all to attend. They meet the first Friday of every month at 8 o'clock right here. So the next meeting will be March the 6th, and then that's when it's an ongoing discussion item. And they're just there to discuss whether or not to put parking spaces in there.
The reason we haven't been to the meetings for it, we just found out about this.
Sure, I understand.
A couple days ago.
I get it, yeah.
And it, brought a lot of alarms to our mind. It's like, parking, there's not room to even have 3 parking spaces there. One of them would have to be handicapped. And, there's just all kinds of concerns.
And that's why I just wanted to come up and clarify, that's what all that was discussed at the traffic committee, just a possibility of some parking spaces. The traffic committee has nothing to do with, the amenities that this board has to deal with if they choose to want to kind of move forward with.
I just wanted you guys to be aware of
Sure.
some of the other issues that might come up down the road. I mean, you say, okay, we'll do that, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, the road's not wide enough. And there's not really a lot of room along that street to widen it 2 lanes all the way down. You might be okay at that first lot area, but after that, you have giant trees on this side, and you have telephone poles right here, and it's an alley. It's not a street, so I just wanted to bring that up.
So I could ask, it is classified as an alley, right? Not a street?
Well, there's not too many instances in town where you have houses that are built facing alleys,
Yeah,
and that's one of them.
okay. A couple questions on that, and hopefully the design process would alleviate a lot of these concerns, I get that. What's the lighting like on an alley? Are there street lights on it?
It depends. Most of the time you have, I've got an alley behind my house, and it's typically the
I got one
neighbors.
next to me,
The
yeah.
The neighbors have it on their, they may have a dawn to dusk light on the back of their
Okay.
garage or something, but I'm not aware of Ameren putting up specific lights for alleys typically.
Yeah, yeah, I just asked that
But
because.
that's, in this case, like I said, it's not like there's some policy for lighting for an alley. We would look at it and say, okay, you got houses coming in off the street, if you need to go ahead and have it lit. And that was discussed too at the traffic committee, because they're the ones that take up requests for additional street lighting for safety reasons.
Yeah, yeah. And then, let's say it moves forward, would this be classified as parkland? Or we don't
Yeah.
know yet?
Yes, if that's, it's owned by it's owned by the city. You guys don't own your parks necessarily. So but it was looked upon as, it could be like park-like amenity. I think the most that I've ever heard of any discussion was, like what we said earlier, you'd have maybe a small pavilion. And we brought it up too, that even though there was some neighbors there that were wanting to look at the possibility of creating these parking spaces, we said, well, the people that live right next door may not necessarily like that. And we knew that, but they weren't at the meeting. But that was what was brought up.
Yeah, I only asked that in reference to hours of operation, like
Yeah.
technically if it was zoned as parkland or classified as parkland, at what time would it close to the public?
We would probably look at doing something similar to what we did before. I think that's not, you can put it on paper all you want, what's
Yeah,
gonna
you
happen.
gotta enforce it,
And
yeah.
I think the police department do have some concerns that was mentioned at the traffic committee about any other additional improvements that may cause them to have to go ahead and respond to get people to move.
Yeah, I was just, if there's a way you can technically tell people, you need to leave this property now because it's closed, that might help with the vagrant issue, so,
Right.
okay.
But it was just left as a discussion item, could the city look at putting in some type of parking spaces in there for now? And I think you'd be best that if the city does move forward with that, I think you ease into that, see what happens then after a while with just the parking spaces, and then see what you gotta do next.
Yeah.
But we did have complaints in the past about people parking up there, and so there was the no parking signs until we figured out what we wanted to go ahead and do.
Yeah, and hopefully,
Sometimes those signs work and sometimes they don't.
yeah, a thorough design process hopefully would address some of the neighbors' concerns, right? From a lighting, access standpoint, that kind of stuff, so.
And that sheet that you all have is from the master plan, so that was us going out and asking the community, what are the things that you want? And those are ideas that were brought up during that process.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody got any other questions or comments? No. Have a motion for adjournment?
You got other stuff?
What else
Got
is
Parks Commission Board discussion?
there? Oh,
Yep, Sparky, you weren't here for the last meeting, but Gavin had asked if we could add that, just if there were any other questions that the board had, and,
sorry about that.
And I'll take advantage of it.
okay.
After the recent snowfall, I had numerous people approach me and ask about the possibility of clearing the path around Lions Lake. People, rather than walking the trail, or now, during the snow, were walking the street, which, is a safety issue. But because they mentioned it to me and I'm the liaison to this board, I thought I would bring it up.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, right now it's considered a secondary area that we would plow. So we plow Riverfront Trail. We try to leave that trail open for everybody to walk. That's what we agreed upon years ago, trying to manage our staff time to doing it all. The one issue too is you have the bridge, which you can't, that if it is covered in snow, it is one of the things might melt off a little quicker. So, we can always look at it and see, it depends on the snowfalls and depends how things are and time with, because we plow the streets and parking lots and other stuff too that we gotta do.
Just thought I would bring it up.
Any other comments, questions? an adjournment? I was almost afraid to say it. Okay, may I have a motion to adjournment?
Make that motion.
Okay.
Now, second?
Adjournment. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
See you guys on March the 11th, right?
March 11th. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of things. We talked when the bridge was, there was some discussion about
What was decided about the fairground tennis court?
And
I had
just
to
so people
get out of here because of that call.